This is a review for The Walking Dead Comics, issue 139. So we left off on issue 138, with the Whisperers arriving at Hilltop, taking Lydia back, and then Carl sneaking off to save her. In issue 139, they use the first few panels to try to trick us into thinking we're about to see Michonne. Instead, it's Ezekiel getting some zombie killing practice in with Michonne's katana. His men are asking him to stand back so they can take care of the zombies, but Ezekiel refuses, and he's kind of like that old man just trying to still prove that he has it. And then I also like how they showed one of his men saying sire, and Ezekiel going, sire? Funny that Michonne got him to stop his whole King Knights thing, but still kind of sad. I thought the whole pretend thing was pretty awesome, and the Knights and King and sire and liege and society breaking down and going back to those different forms of organization I thought was pretty neat, but oh well. But Ezekiel's fun is going to have to wait when Rick shows up with his own entourage. Through their conversation, we learn that Rick's community is stockpiling ammunition, and in fact is just creating so much, and they're the only ones creating it, so they kind of have a trade monopoly going on. We also learn that building a safe road to Ezekiel's community is next on the list after the fair. Next, we see Rick and Ezekiel waiting at the harbor talking about how someone is late. Ezekiel brings up supply and demand, and it becomes very clear that Rick's community has a monopoly on ammo. When Ezekiel suggests trade prices might be going down, Rick snaps a little bit, and he kind of acts like a grumpy old man. Meanwhile, over at Hilltop, Maggie realizes Carl is gone when he doesn't show up for 2 meals. Dante says what we all have been thinking, your first piece of ass makes you do stupid shit. Maggie brings up a legitimate concern. Besides what happens when Rick finds out Carl is gone. If the Whisperers catch Carl and think Hilltop sent him to spy, there could be major trouble. And wouldn't you know it, the Whisperers just found Carl. First thing he says makes me love not only his character, but Kirkman even more. I left on my own, I wasn't sent by my people, I just want to make sure Lydia's okay. So yeah, Carl may be acting a little stupid, but that was a damn smart thing to say. After a bit of posturing, the Whisperers let Carl follow them. Back to Rick and Ezekiel, we see a boat coming in. Ezekiel is sweating, and Rick asks him if he'll be okay. Apparently, everyone knows Ezekiel still isn't over Michonne. And speaking of Michonne, we get one of the greatest panels ever. Pirate Michonne. They dock and Michonne blows off Ezekiel. Despite that coldness, we see the point of the boat, hauling in fish. With most humans gone, capturing fish is tons easier in the respect that there's a lot more fish to catch. Michonne and Rick talk, with Michonne being a little snappish. We learn that Michonne disappeared for some time and people thought she was dead for a while. It basically boils down to drama and Michonne doing exactly what she attacks Morgan for doing, feeling guilty over the dead. She feels guilty for her dead children, the life she lived before, and not knowing her children's fate or being there for them. When she became happy with Ezekiel, and they started having talks about having kids of their own, she became super guilty, freaked out, and left Ezekiel and the kingdom. Now I want to know where she ran off to. They're probably not talking about sailing a ship. Did she try to head back to Atlanta to see if she could find her kids? Maybe she tried her ex's house or relatives' houses? I don't know. I did love when Michonne asked Rick if after everything he's done, if Rick still thinks he deserves to be happy. And he's like, yes, and you do too. Now get your shit together. We didn't get a whole lot of action in this comic, but I think we got something even better. Seeing Michonne for the first time in forever, and Viking/pirate Michonne, the Whisperer meeting Carl didn't go like I thought it would. I wonder, are they going to treat him like their own or let Carl interact with Lydia on its own? Would being with her people and being connected to Lydia make Carl want to join the Whisperers? The adults in the communities, Hilltop, Kingdom, Alexander, etc., still remember a pre-apocalyptic world and are working to rebuild that. Carl, he probably remembers, is a crazy killer zombie world. Seeing a group like the Whisperers who embrace that world and aren't trying to build a new one might appeal to Carl. Or what if Carl helps establish trade between the Whisperers and the communities? The Whisperers seem to like their nomadic lifestyle, but if they did agree to trade, they could provide detailed maps of the areas and also help with herding zombies away. Interesting thought. The drama with Michonne seemed misplaced, but I get that trauma can take years to come up, or years or a lifetime to get rid of or heal. The ships, how exciting is that? I hope they start running missions, maybe see what other areas are like, the ones you can reach by sea, maybe start an island community. When Michonne was talking about life at sea, could you imagine one of the crew dying in the middle of the night? You would be completely screwed. Finally, how does everyone feel about the fair? Maybe I've seen too much in Kirkman's zombie apocalypse, but I can't help but imagine that this isn't going to be a super happy, fun time fair. I think some shit's going to go down. So those were my thoughts on issue 139. Luckily, we get another issue coming up in 2 weeks, so I'm super excited. And I really want to see more ship missions go on and see more of what's going on in the communities and figure out where exactly Michonne ended up going when she disappeared. So make sure you come back Monday when we do a review for the finale of The Walking Dead and also do Comics vs. Show for The Walking Dead as well.